Good morning, retail traders. It is Sunday. Today's date is 1/7/2024, and I'm going to talk about a stock that's been hit by the bears real hard. And there's a lot of people that just are waiting patiently, and a lot of people stuck in this stock as it keeps going down. I'm not going to bash, well, I'm going to bash what I think is society's doing, but this is a stock where I think I might start loading up a position if it breaks a certain trend. Now, I'm a technical analysis trader. I'm not a fundamental trader. I've been trading pennies for over 12 years, and I've been trading big caps and small caps for a remainder of about, 8. So I've been doing this for 20 years, and I know exactly. I've seen this trend before over and over again. Actually, we saw it with AMC about 3 years ago when the retail traders started pumping this stock up, and the fat cats were trying to short it. Many of them had to cover their shorts as that stock just kept running and running up. So it's a momentum trade. Once it hits a bottom, oh boy. So, at heart, I'm a bullish trader. I like to trade the things that pull back and run them up. So we're going to talk about AMC and the reason why I think the stock is down. It has nothing to do with the fundamentals. It has nothing to do with the technicals. It has more to do with society. And let's get into it. I'm going to take off this bear mask. Now, again, I want to make it perfectly clear. I'm neither a bull or a bear on this stock. I'm definitely not into Hollywood. I don't watch movies. I haven't turned my TV on in over 3 years. I got sick and tired of being controlled on social media, on the TV. I remember it's been every bit of 3 to 4 years ago when they took off my favorite show, and it was Cops. I loved watching Cops. It was really the only thing I'd sit down, and it'd be my hour where I could sit down and watch Cops and enjoy myself and study stocks and look in the background, and I loved Cops, so they took it off for politically correctness. So society has changed. When I grew up, and I've seen the cultures go every 10 years. It seems like we're into a big swing. In the 1960 ladies, man, weren't they sweet? They were all healthy. They wanted an education. They wanted a family. They wanted, good things in life. And they were simple and simplistic, just like the men were. And times have changed. I grew up in the 70s where we listened to rock and roll. When I was in 3rd grade, I remember going to high school and we learned the Walrus from the Beatles. We studied that for almost 3 weeks, I think, that song, to where we all memorized it and had to take a test. So it was fun growing up in Portland, Oregon at that time, but look at it now. It's turned into shit. And the same thing with, I think, society. Society's got so involved in politics and racial tension and then we went and had that government shutdown during COVID, which was unnecessary. It really hurt me bad as my business kind of suffered for it. I had to dig in and try to find different ways to make money. I've always worked. I've never missed a day's work. So I blame wokeness for the big problem that's going on with AMC. Hollywood's gone very woke. They've gone very political. They're definitely not on the equilibrium side of anything. The colleges have the same way. You've seen what's happened with the Jew hating on Harvard, and it's just showing their true colors. So I'm not a woke. I don't believe in what this trend is doing, and I think that has a lot to do with what's happened to AMC. I personally haven't seen a movie since the last James Bond, 5 or some years ago, when I took a date out and I paid $20 for a thing of popcorn. I'm going, damn. I mean, if it wasn't for the concession stands, I don't think the movie industry would make it at all. They're in huge debt. They're in $5 billion in debt. They tried to raise a little bit of money. It's not even a percentage of what they got to pay off. I think it's just a technical trade right now. It's not a fundamental trade. It has gone down. It was technical before when the retail trader run this stock up to 300. So yeah, I blame wokeness. for the issues that have come with AMC and the government shutdown, and the movies that they're putting out are worth of crap. This is one of the worst years in Hollywood ever of movies that they put out and failed. They're overpaying these Hollywood elitists way too much. I mean, I wanted to get into Hollywood. I'm a good actor. I played in plays. I can put on a good show. Dramatic, any kind of drama, love scene. Oh man, I'm a great lover. So that's that. AMC. So I think wokeness has changed everything in society compared to Disney. Look how trouble it's having now, all due to wokeness. Nike, Target, Budweiser. So what I think is going to bring this stock up is going to be the back door closing, and BlackRock, a few of these investors are going to start throwing money into this stock, and we're going to bring it back up. That's my opinion, and only my opinion. It's going to be done through the back door, and you're going to see headlines come out with people pumping the stock up to 10, 12 bucks, 15 bucks. This stock's worth 20, although it's $5 billion in debt. There's a lot of people out there that love this, that are stuck in this stock, and I feel for you. I feel for you. But I'm going to show you a technical analysis way to maybe get in at the right position. Mind you, you need to pay real close to what I'm going to chart up here. I'm going to be looking at it. I still think we got more drama to come in, but I'm not sure. I'm definitely blame wokeness, and I blame society as a fault. When the government shutdown came in through COVID, people changed their lives. I turned off my TV, I picked up my guitar, I started playing music. I found different ways to occupy my time, which I thought was more meaningful than just sitting on a freaking couch and eating popcorn and fattening myself up when I could be out exercising, mingling, playing music, running around, getting things done. So yeah, it allowed me to study stocks more. Once I turned that TV off, my direction was headed towards my monitors. I got 8 monitors that I watch daily because I really enjoy these stocks. So let's get into the chart itself, and I'm going to show you what I think is going to happen here. This is AMC. Well, that's not the one I want to bring up. That's the TTM trend black dot. AMC, Jimmy is not into Hollywood. I'm one that's not into Hollywood. I can't stand sitting down and watching a movie anymore. It's just not my style. The movies ain't made like they used to be. So, I'll probably never turn on that TV for the rest of my life, or even sit down in the theater. But that doesn't mind the stock being so cheap. And I've been criticized 2 Septembers ago when I said stocks were cheap and we were going to have a good run up. And by gosh, we had one of the best 2023s you ever saw in my lifetime at the 20 years that I've been watching stocks. So basically, we're at an all-time low of 508. $5 is a very important number to hold. If it doesn't hold that $5, the institutional buyers will start freaking out a little bit more. Institutional buyers get into stocks above $5 and really love them at around 10. So you're going to see a lot of headlines. I think this is going to be headline driven only. You're going to see different kind of headlines coming in here that are going to maybe start to tell you that we're reaching a bottom and we're going to have some upgrades, and people are going to say, hey, people are panicking in this trade right now, cussing each other out. I understand when you're stuck in a stock and you're holding and you're hoping, but I think we're beyond hope, and we got to look at technical analysis when it comes to studying this stock. AMC stock extends losing streak in 5 days. I have a 5-day rule. I like to talk about it a lot, 3, 5, and 7 days when I start seeing turnarounds in the stock. We had a 9-week run, which was irrational exuberance in the market last year, and we had a great pullback. It was already I called that baby out. Hits another record low. California Main Food, LI. Okay, we got these stocks on investors' radar, so I bet you AMC's on the list. AMC hits another record low. Going on with AMC, everybody's kind of shook up about AMC. Entertainment says it entered private exchange agreements. AMC Entertainment says it entered private exchange agreements. I wonder what that means. And then they came out, what's this here? AMC on the 3rd entered into an exchange agreement under which it will issue or lose 3.2 million shares of the company's Class A stock for $22 million aggregate principal amount of its 10 to 12% cash. So, they're working their damnedest to try to raise money. They got to raise money, and here you go. B. Riley Securities maintains neutral rating, which, it's not a buy signal or a sell signal. On AMC, enters, and it says it lowers the price target to $12. Here's another one here. Riley, $12 from $15. Note near-term domestic industry box office concerns. Keeps neutral rating. They just put out a bunch of crap this year, the movies, and it's got to do with wokeism. Nobody wants to talk about that. I'm still here reading, see if there's any kind of headline change at all. We got National Popcorn Day coming up. That might make AMC bounce. Ha ha ha. The popcorn's good. I think their popcorn's great. I bought a bag of popcorn and took it home, and it lasted me 3 days. So let's get into the technical analysis of this stock. Like I said, I'm not a Hollywood fan at all by any means. I'd rather play music. That's where I get my entertainment at. So we're going to pull up. This is back during when we had that big breakout on AMC, and they tried to short this stock, and they got stuck in it. It ran all the way up to like $300. It's had a split since. As you know, one back in December, or where it run up and it pulled on back. Or maybe it was back here. Let's pull up the yearly time frame. We had a big split, and it brought the stock up. And I said, short this sucker right here. I said, this stock ain't going to hold. And it pulled on back, and now we're down here at $5. We got the RSI crossing down, which could be an indicator for a nice little pop on this stock. I'd be looking for the reversal on that RSI. We could have a little fake out and a small pullback, and then boom, it can run up. The volume has definitely picked up in the last 4 to 5 months because it's got so cheap. We're going to pull this up to the 20-day, and we're going to show you a snake. Now, this is my technical analysis when it comes to the sneaky snake trading strategy, is looking for the pattern that's going to break out of this trend. So we got the high resistance right here of right around 531. Right now we're sitting at 515. We're under the 9 on the 1 hour time frame. So I think we'd have to break the 21 SMA and the 9 cross over the 21 and have a nice little breakout of this here channel. Once it breaks out of the channel, if it doesn't pull back anymore and holds support above the $5 level, the 508, that'll be a double bottom. And I'd like to see that hold and be respectful. Now, if we break past the 9 on this 1 hour time frame, like I said, we'd run up, break the 21 SMA, and the 9 will cross the 21 and will break out and hit the 50. Now, 50 SMA, once we hit that, that'll be the breaking out of the snake. She'll pull back to the top of this here trend line. This could happen Monday or it could happen this week. I'm going to be watching it real close Monday, and I'll be looking at call options maybe to the 19th or something like that. We'll pull that up too. So it's either going to break out and we'll have us a little candle out of that trend. It's going to take a little bit to, or they just might just start jumping in it right now. There's a lot of people in the stock that have bought it and keep hoping and hoping and hoping and keep adding to the position. I don't do that. Not when it comes to a me stock like this that's being pushed by retail traders. I'm a retail trader. I know exactly how we trade. I've been trading retail for 20 years. I was one of the first ones to have a chat room back in 2007. So we'll break this thing up. We'll break out of the 21. We'll run up and hit the 50, and then we'll go sideways and maybe pull back down and hit the top of this trend. And then we'll have the little boom that'll accelerate this up at least a buck. And we'll hit that 200 SMA and find some resistance here on the triple top. And we're going to draw a trend line across to show you where that hard resistance will be. We'll take that body right there and that body right there, and it runs right into the 200 SMA, right into it. So that's a solid resistance. Once we hit that 200, we'll just have to see the momentum of the stock and how the people are reacting. There's a lot of people watching AMC right now. Now, like I said, I'm not in it. I'm not cutting it down. I'm just telling you my position on how I feel about Hollywood and about how society has changed. There's a lot better things to do than to go to a movie and sit down for a couple hours and watch some kind of woke shit, in my opinion. Now, this new generation's into woke. Let them have at it. I have nothing against you. I'm just not living like that. I believe in peace and harmony, not division and divide. So we're going to hit that 50. We'll pull back maybe once we break out of this channel. That's how the snake works. And you're going to look for some kind of pattern that comes out of this. And I'll show you exactly what kind of patterns you might want to see. A falling wedge, inverse head and shoulders. Let me bring one up here. Should have probably already had this thing up. I'll be looking for different kind of things that are coming out of this trend line down. Now, these are all bearish. You could have a little breakout and scalp it and day trade it. But once we start seeing a continuation pattern, we would want to see something like an ascending triangle or a bull flag, or maybe a bullish wedge, a symmetrical flag from coming out of that snake and running up and creating a pattern and having the big breakout. Now, this might take a few days. We could have us an inverse head and shoulders, which is one of my favorite patterns, a falling wedge coming out of that downtrend and then starting to creating some kind of pattern out of that snake. We could have a double bottom, or we could even have a triple bottom coming out of that trend. Now, this is important to learn, because if you learn how to study patterns that break out of these trend lines and run into the moving averages and start to create some kind of pattern here to the left, you know, I'm talking like you got let me see here. So you got your downtrend of the snake, and it decides to go ahead and break out. And then it decides to go ahead and create some kind of pattern out of this, so it pulls back. Creates a trend line. So now you've established a trend line. Let's redo this. So it breaks out of the trend. That's this right here. This line right here. Once it breaks out of this here trend, it'll come up just like that. And then another trend will come back down just like that. And you might have another trend that comes up just like that. And you might have another trend that comes down like that. So here we got a triple bottom. and we're creating like a higher wedge, a falling wedge. So it comes back up one more time. Boom, breaks out. Same thing might happen here. You might have a triple bottom. 1, 2, and 3. I teach traders how to count to 3. If you can count to 3, you can trade with me. Or you could have an ascending triangle coming out of this here thing, where you have the downtrend come out, you have the breakout, then it creates what you would call an ascending triangle. Higher lows, then by the third time it breaks out, you have a nice little ascending triangle. Then catch it on that third breakout and watch her boom on up. So she's going to break out, pull back, and create some kind of pattern, and then run up to $6 probably this week. This is getting a lot of attention. People are going to be watching it real close. So keep an eye on that. This is the sneaky snake trading strategy, where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And my biggest deal why I think AMC has gone the way it has is because of what's happened with the government shutdown and how society has changed in the past 3 years. It's a risk anymore being stuck in a building with 4 walls and no windows. Somebody idiot might come in there and blow you up. So, I try to stay away from things like that, especially the way people are acting these days. And I just don't do Hollywood, but I'll trade the stock, especially if we're at a solid support. This is a sneaky snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now.